Good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Soulful Abundance with Chris Williams. I am super excited to share my next guest with you, Maraya Brown. And Maraya is here to talk about her specialty, which is actually supporting women through menopause, perimenopause, through a functional medicine lens, which I am all about. I think functional medicine is so powerful, so important. So, Maraya, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad to have
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and cheers to all the people out there forging the path
you. Yeah.
and, those warriors that are showing up as health practitioners or energy workers in whatever way
Hmm.
we need more of us out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is such a good time too for us. Never before have we had such an opportunity to get our message out, to be visible, to help people live happier, healthier lives. So
Yeah,
this is so good. So tell me,
absolutely.
Mariah, how did you kind of get into this and why did you choose specifically helping women balance their hormones?
Yeah, okay, so my undergrad was in marketing, and I always thought I'd be in business. And I was in
Mhm.
Fortune 50 living in Los Angeles in my early 20s with business suits, stilettos, and airplanes. And my best friend from high school asked me to be at her birth. And of course, I said yes. And
Mhm.
all I can say is uh, the stars aligned, tears rolled down my face for 2 to 3 hours, and all I knew is that it was home.
Mhm.
And so I did a trip down to Peru and hiked up to Machu Picchu on that 4 day hike. And along the journey, I made the decision, came back, quit my job, applied to grad school, booked a 1 year around the world trip.
Mhm.
And I was volunteering with midwives in West Africa when I was accepted at Yale. And so I did my CNM training at Yale and finished there in 2007. Along the journey, I got to head up some really fun international health
Mhm.
projects in West Africa and Central America and Haiti, and
Holy
and then
cow.
ended up starting as a midwife in Hawaii.
Hmm.
And I ran the women's health and federally funded clinics, worked as a midwife in the hospital up in Waimea, if anybody knows Big Island, and then also home births. And it just was a spectacular journey.
Yeah.
And then became a mom. So I currently have a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old,
Uh-huh.
and moved back home to Ashland, Oregon,
Hmm.
and had my own health crash. In my scenario, my adrenals and thyroid crashed. I
Mm.
think because I was really good at serving everyone else
Hmm.
and didn't really listen in to the call from within, which was my body needed some foundational support.
Hmm.
And so found functional medicine, and along the journey was like, wow,
Hmm.
this is what I want to do. So since 2014, I've been supporting women in a very different way. And although I'm still a midwife, it's
Hmm.
had chapters, but in 2018, I went completely online. And through IFM training and my history running women's health and being a midwife, I now work with ambitious women that are really wanting to create legacy and a ripple effect in the world. And they're not willing to go belly up to status quo.
Yeah.
They want hormonal optimization and vitality. And we get to do it with ease, and we get to do it by prioritizing ourselves. So I have a
Mm.
podcast and programs, and I host women's retreats. And anyway, hopefully that answers your
Fantastic.
question.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So good. We are aligned on so many different fronts,
Mm,
which, first and foremost, definitely being advocates for women. You having that journey as an advocate for women, in Africa way back when, even for your friend's birth. I've had two home births, so I'm like
mm,
all in there and have definitely been on, the women's advocate journey for many years, and then, morphing into more natural health solutions.
mhm,
And I can totally relate to being, a high achiever and ambitious woman who wants to make a difference in the world and then bumping up against, hormone issues, going through menopause, having weird things happen that you weren't expecting, anxiety, thyroid, like all of a sudden things start going wonky. And it's not enough to just put, a thyroid med in your body or try to which I'm not against thyroid meds or HRT or any of that. It's just that you need that extra support, at least I did, that to understand more of what's going on. And I love that you've got that experience through the years, right? Like it's like you supported women from the beginning, right? Except when they were little girls, right? So as that health supporter and practitioner that's actually been able to support women through pregnancy and birthing and now into this next stage of their lives, it's so powerful. So
Yeah,
thank you
it's
for doing
good.
that work.
And the work is really similar. Even when I was working as a midwife, I still was running the women's health in private
Mm-hmm.
practices, functional medicine practices,
Mm-hmm.
functional federally funded practices. But um, the midwife's role is just to simply hold the container,
Mm-hmm.
help women feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
help them surrender, help them trust
Mm-hmm.
through chapters of change.
Yeah.
And perimenopause and menopause is just simply one more chapter of change.
Yeah.
And so is entrepreneurship, and so
Yeah.
is being a
Oh, yeah.
CEO, and so
Yeah.
is finding our voice and our worthiness and our self-love but doing it for me, I'm the one saying we have to have our foundational health,
Yeah.
our cellular vitality, and address some of this. Yes, we can mindset and gratitude our way through and surround ourselves with healthy community. But at a cellular level, there is so much that I just say, you know what, the world isn't, you're not crazy, the world is. And
Mm-hmm.
so many women will go see their providers and they've been told, oh no, everything looks fine,
Mm-hmm.
or here's a prescription. And
Yeah.
these women are saying, no, this is not
Yeah.
okay just to be
Yeah.
told this is just simply part of aging. I
Yep.
don't recognize myself in the mirror. I'm not feeling like I'm fully embodying my optimal self. And I know that there's more.
Yeah.
And so I just say, keep banging on doors, choose
Yep.
different doors, find that support system and practitioner that can be there to really take your symptoms seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Order different tests, look at the
Yeah.
same test through a different lens, taking you and your personalized scenario into consideration because it's a churning chapter. And, for those women 35 to 60,
Mm-hmm.
it's a wild time in a woman's life.
Yeah.
And there's so many answers out there so that you can feel spectacular. And me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm along the journey with you.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's so important because for so many years there actually wasn't information out there and there weren't people that were really versed in this. I know I went through early menopause when I was 45 and they gave me antidepressants. They didn't really know what it was until they finally did the test and they're like, "Oh, actually you're in menopause." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really?" And yet
Hmm.
that's all they could tell me, right? There wasn't any, extra, and so I actually had to search it out and I had to get online and I had to try to find other alternatives. And
Yeah.
it was really difficult, to go through that process on your own also because we are filled with so much information. It's not really, I was unclear, well, what's true, what's not true, it's like
Yeah.
you really need somebody that you trust and who is versed in this specifically, not just a family doctor who says, "Yep, you're in menopause." And I'm like, "And what do I do about it?" Like,
Well,
okay.
and there is a lot more information out there today, but I think it's still the same scenario where now we're a bit bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
And some
Yep.
will say every woman has to be on HRT, and
Right.
others say no, there's so many other ways, and it's got to be your gut health, and it's got to be your
Mm-hmm.
adrenals, and you've got to
Mm-hmm.
do paleo, you've got to, and I just go,
Intermittent
well,
fast or yeah, like
yeah, everybody's going to be on the FODMAP, and it's like, wow, the 75 hard or whatever that thing is
yeah.
called. Um, I think that women, particularly those of us that are out forging the way, like I literally have a visual of with a
Mm-hmm.
machete out in a
Mm-hmm.
field.
Yeah.
Um, we don't need the walls caving in on us and to have restrictions and to be fit into a box
Mm-hmm.
of my way or the highway or this is the only way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we all have wings and we need to open them up big and wide and soar. And
Mm-hmm.
in that expansiveness, it's figuring out, all right, what does it look like for you as an individual
Mm-hmm.
with your unique past and desires, and do you like structure
Mm-hmm.
and quantifiability and quantifiable structure,
Mm-hmm.
and do you like to have a meal plan,
Mm-hmm.
or are you someone that really wants more freedom?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's something as simple as you have a gut dysbiosis
Mm-hmm.
and it's impacting how your body's absorbing nutrients, and you're
Right.
not producing that serotonin, and now you're not producing hormones. And so there you go, huh? Oh gosh, it's not just that I'm crazy. I am having brain fog.
Yep.
I am struggling with sleep. I do
Mm-hmm.
have pronounced irritability. I
Mm-hmm.
am putting on a little bit of belly weight. My
Mm-hmm.
hair does seem like it's getting more thin. And no, this is not just part of aging.
Yep.
But I don't want to be given the antidepressant. I
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a woman says I do want access to HRT, and or another woman that says no, I want other options.
Yep.
And I say there's answers for all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so good. So good,
Mm.
Mariah. We do need choices, right? Instead of
Yeah,
just, and I think that there is kind of like this search for the silver bullet, the one right way, that people can get into, whether it's around health or relationships or building your business. And really, there's multiple options and choices because not everybody goes through menopause in the same way either. Not everybody has anxiety attacks. Not everybody has trouble sleeping. Not everybody is going to, take on that extra weight or whatever. So it's
yeah,
important to be able to choose. I'm curious because you did mention some testing. So tell me
yeah,
a little bit more about the testing that you use
yeah,
so we can really kind of like, so that you can say, okay, like, let's really take a look at the
yeah.
numbers instead of like just playing darts and
I love that
so.
I actually often say that, don't shoot darts in the dark. So for my clients around the world, whether you're in the UK or Australia, the Caribbean, Canada, the test that I order and love to start with first is the Dutch Plus.
Hmm.
It's a kit that shows up at your front door. We're collecting through urine and saliva, and I'm able to see all three kinds of estrogen, your progesterone and your testosterone. That's going to tell me a lot about, oh, wow, the brain fog, the weight changes, the mood swings, the challenge with sleep, the lack of libido, the lack of confidence, the changes in muscle tone. Then I'm able to look at your 24-hour cortisol curve, which shows me how is your body handling stress
Hmm.
really for the past 9 months.
Hmm.
And depending on what time of the day. So is
Hmm.
it that you're crashing in the afternoon or you're spiking before bed or your body's simply not waking up?
Hmm.
It also shows me your detoxification pathways. So what is your body doing with these hormones? And
Hmm.
is there a predisposition towards things like estrogen cancer and, the yucky stuff
Hmm.
that we can go in and address it swiftly?
Hmm.
And then it also shows me your organic acid. So what's going on with your B vitamins, your dopamine level, your gut markers. So a lot of information in one test, and there's so much that we can do there. Mix that with an initial questionnaire, looking at your food, your stress level, and really giving a personalized plan.
Hmm.
The next is called the GI map. It's a stool test. So
Hmm.
once again, a kit that's delivered to your front door. My clients, no matter where you are geographically, we've got you. You're
Hmm.
actually collecting your own poop, not the most fun,
Hmm.
but it gives so much information to
Hmm.
really get clarity on is there a parasite, H. pylori? Sometimes it's not just a specific bacteria,
Hmm.
but looking at the full picture.
Hmm.
And I have a team of master coaches. So for the GI map, my team dietitian, she's literally flown all over the world to teach clinicians how to read this test.
Wow.
She's a keynote speaker. She's published chapters and textbooks. She's got her master. She's amazing.
Wow.
So my clients meet with her for a personalized touch with, it's usually like a 3-month protocol to
Hmm.
restore that gut dysbiosis.
Hmm.
Um, and then for those that are in geographies where I can order blood tests, that's not everyone all over the world, but if I can't, I give you a lot of handholding and coaching for what to ask for and
Hmm.
specific symptoms to complain of.
Hmm.
Um, those would be your vitamin D level. If you're looking at your blood test, I would like to see it between 60 and 80. The ranges are bogus in my world.
Hmm. Definitely.
A really comprehensive thyroid panel. So
Hmm.
most often you've gone to your provider and they'll order what's called a TSH,
Hmm.
which actually isn't even coming from your thyroid. It's actually coming from your pituitary.
Hmm.
And many labs will say a normal is like 0.45 to 4.5.
Hmm.
I would rather see it between 1 and 2.
Hmm.
And so often what's happening is there is kind of a subclinical sluggish thyroid for women, and
Hmm.
it's just simply been missed because I was taught the same thing and I had a great education at Yale University. And It's just we're doing the best that we can with the data that we have as
Yeah.
practitioners.
Yeah.
So a different
Hmm.
window, and then also other tests that are getting a more comprehensive peek at the thyroid. I'll stop there. There's others, but those would be
Yeah, no,
my
that's
top
really
to start
great.
with.
I love how thorough it is. It's not, we're not just looking at how do we have a balanced plate, right, for more energy. Like we're really looking at let's, really get the numbers so that we know exactly what do we need to supplement with, what is going on, is your body actually absorbing the nutrients? Are your cells getting the energy that it needs? And if not, there's a tailorized plan to work with each woman. I think that is so incredible and so powerful because
Mhm.
otherwise you could be taking a supplement that you don't need, or you could be trying somebody else's protocol that not necessarily going to solve your problem. And I think that's where women get so frustrated is they hear do it this way and they try it that way and it doesn't work for them. And it's not that that way doesn't work. It's just, it's not for them. It's not for
Yep.
their body. It's not really targeting the main issue. So I am
Mhm.
so, so glad to have you in the world.
Mhm.
I wish I would have known you when I was 45, going through all the crazy nonsense. But yeah, and I love the Dutch test as well. My
Mhm.
functional person took me through the Dutch test as well, and that was so so helpful to be able to
Yeah.
see specific numbers. I am one of those that likes to see the numbers. I'm like, okay, like show me the numbers so that we have a direction to go and not just kind of
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I will say it's not just the tests,
Hmm.
but making sure that you have a provider that really knows those tests
Hmm.
and knows you as
Yeah.
an individual. We are not just numbers. We
Mhm.
are very dynamic, comprehensive,
Mhm.
complex, spectacular beings as women,
Mhm.
and we're ever changing. I can't believe how many women will come and see me and their provider has ordered their hormone testing through blood
Mhm.
with no idea of where they are in their cycle. I just had another one yesterday and she was
Mhm.
told she needed extra progesterone, but they had ordered a blood test and she was on day 7 of her cycle.
Mm.
And
Oh,
so I was able to show her the
mhm.
menstrual cycle and well, that's the normal time for your progesterone level to be low.
Mhm.
So now you're adding on another medication that you don't even want
Mhm.
based on data that is actually being interpreted, in my opinion, wrong.
Mhm.
And so, and I don't blame them. I often say stop asking people for directions to places that they haven't been.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
They
know,
just don't know. Mhm.
yeah, I wasn't taught it either. I've had to spend the last 15 years finding
Mhm.
my way and learning. And I believe food is medicine and medicine
Yeah.
is food, and anything we put in our mouth is relevant.
Yeah.
I also believe in energy and
Yeah.
intuition and
Yeah.
prayer and
Mhm.
miracles.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Amazing. Mariah, thank
Mhm.
you so much. I'm so glad to
Mhm.
have you with us. I know you've got something coming up next week. Could you share a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I actually have a free workshop for anyone
Oh,
and everyone. It's called Pause.
oh, I love
And
that. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's fun. I actually haven't done one like this in 14 months.
Wow.
So it's really exciting for me to be offering this up. We'll be live an hour a day for 4 days, and all the recordings will be available for a full 10 days. So just honoring we all have productive lives. We're all in different time zones. And what I say is, like I said earlier, you're not crazy, the world is.
Mm-hmm.
This is supporting women and acknowledging that we get to feel spectacular and vibrant.
Yeah.
And taking that pause for ourselves has a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we're just putting out the fires in front of us and life is full, I consider fine a 4 letter word.
Mm,
And so we're going to dig into abolishing fine.
mm,
And that's looking through the lens of our hormones and our energy and our ability to cast vision and dream, and obviously all the other pieces that intersect
mm-hmm.
in kind of a scenario where some women go, well, gosh, I guess it's really common.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal. And
Exactly.
maybe if you've seen many providers and you don't feel like you're getting the answers you're looking for, keep looking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, anyway, it's free. There's a workbook that goes along with it. I hope that you find the workbook really helpful and also a lovely journey of self-discovery.
Mm.
Everyone has concierge support and it's completely free. So you just go to marayabrown.com/pause.
And we'll put
And
that
if,
here as well.
great,
Yeah. So go ahead and just click the link below in the description.
great,
If you're watching on YouTube, if you are watching on the podcast, we've got that in the show notes for you. And if you're on Facebook, just check the comments. We'll make sure that we get all of that
great.
information to the
Thank you.
pause event for sure.
Yep. Thank you. If you're listening to this after September 28th, I'm
Mm,
really approachable.
mm,
Just reach out. Also, my podcast is the Women's Vibrancy Code podcast. So if you're listening to this in a podcast place, the other thing is Maraya is all A's. So Maraya. You can find Maraya Brown anywhere.
amazing.
And then the last thing is I do host women's retreats where I feel like I really get to be a
Mm,
midwife in person. And I
mhm,
have a retreat in the Dominican Republic at this beautiful, luxurious resort in November. And it's
mm.
really for women in this like 35 to 60 age range where we're in this transitional phase to rest and restore and reconnect. So anyway, just reach out. And the links will be in the show notes.
Yeah,
And
yep. We'll put all of that in there. We'll make sure that we've got Mariah's website, access to pause and the retreat and all of that good stuff, as well as how you can
Mhm.
reach Mariah directly. Mariah, thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Chris.
This has been
Yeah.
such an amazing, helpful conversation. It is so good to
Mhm.
know that we're not alone, right? So many of us going through this time just do feel a little bit crazy. So knowing that we're not crazy, the world did, has been so super helpful. And it's just been such a pleasure having you. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
time
And
today.
thank you for everything that you're doing in the world and who you're supporting. It's needed.
Thank you. All right,
Hmm.
everybody, we will see you next time. Don't forget, click the link, sign up for pause, take a look at the retreat, go say hello to Mariah, and we
Hmm.
will see you back here next time. Bye.
Aloha.